So I am Anita Bowser. I am the interviewer today. Today is December 19th, 2024. Can you tell me your name?
My name's Nicole Tropf.
So Nicole, how long have you lived in this community?
I've lived here for a little over 2 years. Moved from California to here in October of 2022 and have been here since.
Can you tell me about your earliest and best memories of libraries or of reading?
So I'll start with reading. I remember wanting to read for as long as I can remember. And my parents bought me like every Cat in the Hat book. And, I memorized it. And that they told me that they knew that I had memorized it because as they would see me reading to myself, the book was upside down. And so I pushed myself as far as I could. And I think it was one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish, when I actually could connect the words with what I had remembered. So like I actually could read and I was so excited and I felt that accomplishment. And I've been chasing that accomplishment feeling for many, many years since then. But my first experience or best memory of a library would have to be, I had a childhood best friend who had a grandma, and her name was Grandma Janie, and she would come to our school library, and she was a volunteer storytime reader. And she was fabulous. She came with the best choices in books for us and was very engaging and enthusiastic. And since her granddaughter was my best friend, during Christmas, before Christmas, she would always invite us to come up and help her decorate her house. And she lived kind of in the mountains of California. And so it was like this big road trip that we got to take. And then her mom would leave us and we would just be with the grandma. And the grandma took us to a library. And she allowed us to like kind of venture out and go through it all. And then we got to rent a movie, which was via VHS tapes back in the day, and took us out for pizza. But I remember like her just telling us that this is where magic happens. There's magic in every corner of the library. And that was my first outside library experience. Usually it was just at the school library. And I just loved it. And so I remember having conversations with her like, how do you volunteer at a library? How could you get involved with, doing stuff with the library? And it just was good feelings all around. And I know as a kid, most people would, try to be a teacher. They would pretend to be a teacher or play house. And I would always play librarian. I would stick the notebooks, like the note cards inside my books and like tape them to there and use my mom's hair dryer as the little scanner. So I think it's just always been sort of like a nostalgic good feeling that I've had forever. So those are my good memories.
That's wonderful. And now you work in the library.
Work here.
Yeah, so is the magic still here?
It is. And it's changed a little differently because it used to just remind me of like the nostalgic part where everything in the past and it's romanticized and, like that whole thing of being a child in wonderment. Being here now that I work here, I see it in a different view. It's current. It's things that we do on a daily basis that, touch the community every day for the present, for things that are happening in the future. And I love that part. So it's definitely changed, but it's still good because I still do feel those feelings every time I walk in. So
that's fantastic. What do you do in your work?
So I'm the Circulation and Developments Coordinator. I help with a lot of the fundraising that happens here, and then help at the Circ desk, which is when people come in and they're checking in or checking out their books. One of my specialties is the ILLs, which is our interlibrary loan portion, and I love that part. That's where I get to research books for people that are unique or rare, or maybe something that they had heard about, on a podcast somewhere that they, want to get their hands on. And so I get to kind of filter through not just our local libraries, but like out on the outskirts. And that's kind of a fun part for me to do the little bit of research.
That's great. Yeah. So how has your view of libraries changed? We talked about that a little bit, but
yeah. So like I said, I think I always thought that the library was part of, the past. Like I would think of Grandma Janie and like, oh, what were the greatest books that she read? Or, things that I would see even my own grandparents or my parents like read. That's how I would get, I would think about maybe a movie that I had seen a long time ago and think, oh, I bet you the library would have that. In my head, it was stuck like in the past. But working here, I see that it is very current. It is the bestsellers that we can find on the shelves. It is that we have some of the great movies that are just coming out. You know, Wicked will probably be on our list. That's going to be something that we put into rotation. A lot of people come here for resources and materials and tools that are for, you know, finding jobs or things that they're doing in their everyday life, court appearances, all types of things. So it's not just the past, it's definitely a part of present and future, and that I think is it's amazing, and I love that part.
That's great. Is there anything else that you'd like to say?
I think I'll just kind of roll off of what we were talking about just now. I think it's really awesome to see that the library can be a bridge for the past, present, and future. It is a place where you can find genealogy and reference and history, but it's also that place that you can find new. And then I love seeing how like the children's department is always developing, so we're giving, you know, the littles in the community and the next generation a place to kind of catapult from. So the library definitely has something for everyone here, and you can make the library anything you want it. So that's all I want to say.
That's great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.